Hi everyone and welcome to the studio today. Today I'm going to be looking at foils and alcohol ink. So what I'm doing, I'm actually going to coat some clay with alcohol ink, and I'm not overly concerned about the design, but what I want to do is actually attach the foils to the alcohol ink while it's still a little bit wet. So the gold, in actual fact, pinata gold, actually stays quite sticky for a fair while on the surface of raw polymer clay, so I'm going to take advantage of that. Some alcohol inks dry very quickly on raw polymer clay and some take a while to dry. So that's what I'm going to be playing around with today. Very simple process, I'm not going to keep you long. So I'm simply going to just drop some ink onto the surface of my raw clay, and I'm going to use my finger to spread. I could have used a blending solution, but I'm just using my finger to spread it around. Look at that color, it's so yummy. I'm just going to drop some purple on, and it's important to drop the gold on while it is still in a very wet state. If your surface is too dry, the gold won't spread beautifully like that. So luscious. I'm going to bring it up and show you a bit closer. So that's kind of what we want to have happen. All right, I'm going to leave that one to sit there in all its glory, and I'm going to do another one here, which I'm just going to add gold ink to the surface of. Okay, just like this. I'll use a different finger to spread so I don't contaminate the gold. Okay, and I'm just spreading it around like that. So on one of these pieces of clay, this one, I'm going to use a Lisa Pavelka foil that easily transfers. So I'm going to try that one on there. On this one, I'm going to try an iCraft deco foil that is very problematic on raw clay. So I'm just going to leave these for a little bit longer because I can see this one is still quite damp on the surface. So I'm just going to leave it to dry a little bit longer, and I'll come back. I'll time it for you so you know how long I left it for. Okay, I've waited about 5 minutes, but in saying that, it's actually quite a warm day in the studio here. So the temperature may affect the drying time of your alcohol ink. So, you know, that 5 minutes, maybe you may need to wait much longer for yours to dry as much as mine has dried. Anyway, let's not worry about that. What we're going to look at on the surface of our clay, I can see some of my clay has dried really well and some has got little sticky, still wet patches. Now, if I dab my finger onto it, it's almost dry, but not quite in some areas, okay? I'm just gonna actually dab some of the really damp bits off. And okay, let's just grab our foil and let's just have a try, shall we? I'm going to go in a little section here. I hope this is the foil that works because I have two coppers almost the same. Okay, and you can see that. See how it has stuck beautifully to that little bit of gold alcohol ink that is still damp. All right, so I'm going to try a little bit more, and I kind of like having little rough edges, you know, like it doesn't matter if you don't fill the whole page, you just get gorgeous little shimmery bits. Can you see that? I'm going to do a little bit more, it's so addictive. And notice I'm just tapping, you know, I'm not burnishing hard, I'm just tapping it down. Look at how that one covered. So luscious. All right, so what an amazing effect this creates. But no, sorry. Notice how some of the alcohol ink, like if I try and get this little blue section in the corner, it will never work because that alcohol ink is so dry, and I can see, sorry, let me see if you can get it there. I can see that little bit on the corner is really, really dry. So it's not going to pick up my foil because it's just too dry. So you can see how gorgeous that is. I may have all of the wet bits I'm going to get. Oh, that was a big lot. Okay, so just little bits at a time. All right, so I actually love this look. This is probably one of my favorite things to do, is put foils on top of the alcohol inks. They really are quite beautiful. All right, let's see how this gold one went. Now, this was the gold, just pure gold alcohol ink in the pinata. And I'm going to try one of my very problematic foils. Okay, the gold was still a little bit on the, a little bit on the sticky side, I should say. That's probably the best way to describe it. And I'm just going to give this a little burnish, and, oh, let's see what happens if we rip it like that. We kind of get a really cool effect. Now, not all of it has transferred. That's probably because this should have been on a ceramic tile, silly me. And I wonder why it should have been on a ceramic tile. Yes, so that it stuck to the tile and my foil would rip off quickly. So that probably wasn't a good thing, but I managed to get a little bit more on. So you can see the problematic foil that doesn't burnish to raw polymer clay actually works really well on top of the sticky gold pinata. So just something to point out though, I'm going to bring this page in, and this is my sample page from when I was playing around with this a while ago. And down here, I have got a couple of samples, and I have actually written the surface is very delicate prior to curing. So if I was going to do this, and if I try and rub this now, it would probably, see that, just rub off really, really easy. So the surface of this is very, very delicate. So I would need to think carefully about what I was doing with this piece. Probably the less touching of the surface, the less manipulation of this piece of clay, the better. So just something to keep in mind. Let's get these two gorgeous pieces in. I'm going to pull this one up because I just love it so much. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.